Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Georgiman and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about Chainsaw Man chapter 171. So, what did I think about this week's chapter? Honestly, I thought this week's chapter was extremely shocking. I thought it was a phenomenal chapter overall in setting up, the pretty much like the climax of the story, because after this week's chapter, I'm very confident to say that I think we're approaching the finale. I think that now they're setting up the final steps to pretty much climax the story, and I think that this week's chapter did a phenomenal job at once again establishing Morim as a very, very terrible person as a whole, and an incredible villain, because I think he's been doing an incredible job at being just a malicious person that you absolutely hate, which is the best type of villain in my opinion. Now, before I go any further with this week's chapter, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my Chainsaw Man, as well as all my anime and manga content that I'll be providing in this channel. It really helps out a lot, and I would really appreciate if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into this week's chapter. So, this week's chapter starts off where we left off last time, which is pretty much, Morim, just shocking Denji. You see Denji just face completely, absolutely shocked. My man is like flabbergasted by what he witnessed in last week's chapter, which was Nayuta's decapitated head. And I saw a lot of people speculating online, like maybe that's just like a cake design, like that's not actually the real Nayuta. Maybe he did a trick on him to either hire somebody to make a fake prop, or maybe like a cake, or whatever the case. I saw a lot of people saying that, especially because there was no mole. Now, in my opinion, I always said that was Fujimoto's inconsistency when it comes to like drawing. Sometimes he forgets some details, so I didn't think too much of it, and it seems like I was correct in that regard, because Morim, my man, is very confident, because he's like, hey man, listen, I had to do what I had to do. If it took me killing this girl, at least I got to save the world. So whatever the case, I did my job, bro. And I like that about Morim as a villain, because I think my man has conviction. I hate him. I absolutely despise him. Would I go as far as to say that he's Makima level? I think so. My man has crossed that line. First killing, he's taken everything from Denji. I mean, you can make an argument that he would be a Makima 2.0, because everything that Denji loved and cared for, he has taken away from him, similar to Makima in part 1. And I think that Morim has been an exceptional villain so far in the story. And I think that, when it comes to once we finish the story and look back into everything that he did, we would all look back and say that, yeah, he was a pivotal character when it came to the overall arcing story and the narrative of Chainsaw Man Part 2. And pretty much what happens is Denji completely snaps after witnessing the Nayuta, what he did to Nayuta. And what he does is pretty much you see Denji just choke Morim, and while he's choking him, some guts come out of Denji's stomach. And I already knew what was going to happen. Once I saw that, I kind of figured that it was going to be pretty much what we witnessed in part 1, and Denji was going to finally snap, and it was not going to be no longer Denji driving the steering wheel, but instead it was going to be Pochita. And we see that Morim gets like decapitated by Denji's gut, and we see that Morim's head like flying off of him. And while all that is happening, we see Denji slowly transform into the real Chainsaw Man, Pochita's Chainsaw Man, the one that we saw in part 1. And now all hell's broken loose, because now he is a literal ticking time bomb. My man is out of control. He obviously cannot control that state. He's gonna run amok. And if I'm Asa and the rest of the crew, I'm completely scared. I do not want to be near Denji, because my man Denji, he is right now top 1 in the verse in this transformation, at least from what we know. We saw what he's capable of, what was Pochita capable of in part 1. And as this is happening, we see, everybody's shocked, and you see this sick panel by Fujimoto where you just see, like I said, Pochita pretty much taking over, and you see the super epic Chainsaw Man, like big, like, the black armor and all that. Really cool scene. I love the design. It was great. I knew it was going to happen, but I was still very shocked that Fujimoto actually went there and got Nayuta killed, especially off screen. But it is Fujimoto after all, and he loves hurting our feelings, so I shouldn't have been too shocked, right? But what happens after that is we pretty much cut back to people in the public safety, and they're like, hey, make sure we can dispatch units to eliminate them. So dispatch all teams, and dispatch the new Special Division 5 and all that. And what we see is this guy, he kind of, he's dispatching the crew. It's like, hey, listen. And what it breaks down to is similar to, how part 1 Special Division works with the Fiends or in the Devils and all that. It's like, hey, if you guys work for us, and you guys are able to, be useful, we will give you as much booze and women as you want. And that's pretty much the payment that they're asking for, I guess. And what happens is we pretty much see how, the special division gets slowly revealed. And these characters are wacky looking. Like, my man, I was like, yo, like, if I were to look at a fodder, like a tier list of fodder, like, designs, I think these guys are going to be absolute fodder. I think they stand no chance. Like, oh my god. I think a stormtrooper stands a better chance defeating Darth Vader than these guys do at Pochita right now. And like, these characters look wacky, man. Like, one of them looks like a mouse, like he has big ears. Another one looks like a dodo bird, I think, or something like that. Yeah, wacky designs. And hey, I'm sure they're gonna put in some work, right? Like, my man's, hey, for all we know, listen, for all we know, one of them's the Death Devil. All right, hear me out. We don't know. For all we know, one of them might be secretly best friends with the Falling Devil, and he's the Falling Devil's like distant cousin or something, or the Darkness Devil or something along the lines. Like, his family tree is super powerful. You never know, these devils might actually put in some work. Hey, you don't know. For all I know, yeah, like I said, the guy with the big ears, my man's gonna be like he's gonna have like I don't know, like Super Saiyan powers or something. He might be able to bench press the earth if he really wants to. And I think that, that for all we know, like, listen, I'm just throwing my hat up, I'm just throwing, stuff at the wall. But like, I think they're absolutely going to be completely demolished, because Special Division and the public safety up to this point in part 2 has been an absolute joke. They have been, taking L's left and right. Framiko, Yoshida, all of them have just taken L's. Like, nobody has been competent enough. So I think that for me to really think that they're gonna put in some work would be a long stretch. I highly doubt it. But hey, for all we know, they might be the strongest in the verse. They might be like the most powerful entities in this entire universe, for all we know. But how we close up the chapter is that how they're talking about the Special Division, and then we have like this super epic like final page splash, or one of the last pages, where we see pretty much the Special Divisions, like, they're all walking cool together. It's like, okay, let's do this, guys. And they're gonna march in and fight Denji / Pochita, which I think if you're a guy that runs a funeral parlor, you might want to start writing their tombstones. Like, literally the second they accepted the mission, I think you should already have the tombstones ready, because none of them are making it out. There ain't no way, bro. There ain't no way anybody makes it out. And if they do, listen, they gotta have like the luck of the greatest luck in the verse. They have to have a contract with the Luck Devil or something, because they must be real lucky if they're able to survive this catastrophe that's about to happen. But yeah, this week's chapter was a very shocking chapter overall. Obviously, I mean, we get to see the return of the original Chainsaw Man, Pochita, which I will refer to him going forward in these chapter reviews as just Pochita, because that is Pochita's true form, right? I don't want to just keep saying the real Chainsaw Man, because I think it will be kind of, get repetitive if I keep saying that. So I'll just call him Pochita from here on. But yeah, this chapter was a trip, man. Morim, glad to see him be taken out. And my question is now, if Denji in his Pochita state, I mean, he technically was and wasn't, I guess, is Morim truly dead? Is he truly dead or not? Because we did see in the hybrids in part 1 survive when they were, demolished by, Pochita. So I'm very curious to see, is he just gonna regenerate, or how are you gonna defeat a hybrid? Because that's the big question that we still don't know, even in part 1. I mean, in part 2, we still don't know how you can defeat a hybrid, which I think it's something that we're gonna touch upon later in this series, especially now that we're in the climax for sure, which I'm very excited for. Now, with all that being said, what did you guys think about this week's chapter? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys thought it was alright? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Chainsaw Man, as well as more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.